Welcome back, everyone, to the Essential Therapies podcast with Dr. Cindy. This week, Dr. Cindy gives a quick recap on her experience last week at the John Barnes Myofascial Release Treatment Center, otherwise known as The Sanctuary, as a follow-up from her biking accident about a month ago. So enjoy the show this week, and we will see you again next week.
Dr. Cindy here from Essential Therapies. I'm an exercise physiologist, physical therapist, and just wanted to check in today and recap a little bit about my intensive treatment experience last week in Malvern, Pennsylvania at the John Barnes Myofascial Release Treatment Center, also known as the Sanctuary. So I mentioned in my brief chat last week that I was going to be doing what's called a mini intensive for 3 days, where I got approximately 11 hours of hands-on treatment by the amazing staff over there. And I've had a lot of people ask me, what is that? What is a mini intensive? What is this about? Why are you doing this? And do I need that? So let me just give a quick recap, and then I will talk more about this next week when I have a special guest on a little bit longer podcast. So most of you may know that I was in a cycling accident just a little over a month ago, where I crashed my face pretty significantly into the ground and had some amazing, miraculous, really, treatment of my face that I did myself immediately following the crash, which really made some incredible changes. However, my body was still really struggling, and I hadn't had any hands-on treatment yet, and I knew I really needed some intensive work. So I went to the Sanctuary out where John Barnes, therapist, and Val, for example, has been working for John for over 30 years, and their therapists there are very experienced and work often with people who are coming for intensives. And what that means is you go and you get several hours of treatment a day. So 11 hours of treatment over 3 days is what I experienced. And sometimes I had even 2 sets of hands on me, because one of the seminars that John Barnes offers is what's called a skill enhancement seminar. So physical therapist, massage therapist, occupational therapist, anyone who's learning to be a myofascial release therapist and has taken at least Myofascial Release 1 can also take the skill enhancement, where they go there and work for 40 hours of the week alongside John's therapist on the patients that are there. So I was fortunate enough to have one student there. So sometimes I had 2 sets of hands on me. And even one of my treatments, I had 2 of the therapists there working on me at the same time. So if you can imagine, it's not even like double the benefit. It's like exponentially better to have another person working on you at the same time. And we do that here at Essential Therapies also. We call that co-treat. So you could actually sign up for a co-treat and not even be doing an intensive at the time. So if you want more information about that, reach out and ask us. But so what happened with me, I thought I would share especially about the first day. It was amazing. I didn't realize how bad I was, to be honest. And so we took very specific pictures of me and standing in front of this grid to kind of see how my alignment was off, and then videotaped me walking forwards and backwards. And I was just amazed that it was almost like my body knew, hey, it's time for treatment, and just started to fall apart. And, I'd been doing my best keeping up with self-treatment, but I was also going back to work. And what happens is, you need more time, and I just didn't have the time that I needed. And you just need someone else's hands so that you can relax and go into what we call channel 3, and which is really kind of a focused state of being present, so that you can let your body experience what it needs to experience and feel what it needs to feel, so that it can heal. And after that first day, when I had some pretty incredible treatments, I actually felt worse at the end of the day. And sometimes that can happen. And we actually talk about this in an interview I did with John a couple years ago, I think, on YouTube. And you can find that. We'll put the link here below. And it is about myofascial release and therapeutic pain. So how can pain be therapeutic? Well, sometimes after getting MFR, you feel really good. Other times you're a little bit stirred up. And the thing is, the key to healing is feeling, as I said. So if you get stirred up, it's actually a good thing. If you get home, you kind of you can let your body shake, let emotions come up, pain come up, maybe in other parts of the body, and try to allow yourself to be with the pain is the key. So that's what I was doing after that first day. And, I'd been doing pretty well without having headaches the last couple of weeks. And then after that first day, I really had a wicked headache at the end of the day. And so I realized that, of course, that's okay, and that I needed to feel what was going on in my body, which is exactly what I did. So the next day, then I had several hours of treatment again, and just allowed myself to settle in. In the first couple hours, my headache was gone, and I was feeling things in other parts of my body. And the reason why we want to do intensive sometimes is the body holds on to these patterns, these subconscious holding patterns, or maybe there's years or even decades of trauma or pain or dysfunction or postural issues that have caused a significant restriction throughout the entire body. So our body's mostly water. We should feel more like Jell-O, not so much like concrete, So when your body starts to get really, really tight, a lot of times we'll see a new patient who's never had myofascial release before and, has had a lot of issues going on. And just even at that initial look of the body and touch of the body, we can feel there's such restriction there. Or if they've been getting treatment and we're not able to really make significant headway, it helps to have a lot of sessions together so that we can get through that more quickly. The body doesn't hold on to those subconscious patterns so much, and we're able to push through. And I say push through kind of in a way that remember, we're never forcing the body. So we're never forcing the body into a place it doesn't want to go, but we're not allowing it to go back to this comfort zone either. So it really was a great opportunity for me to go and have all of these hours, because what happened is I was able to push through those areas of therapeutic pain, especially that first day, the next day unraveling more. And that last day I had a most significant release in what we call myofascial unwinding, where the therapist's fingers were on the roof of my mouth and my body went into what's called unwinding. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that next time on the longer podcast. But my mouth, after that session, my teeth were aligned better than they had been this entire time. In fact, I really believe that my maxilla is now back where it was, because this was the right front tooth that was, after the accident, directly inside my mouth and behind the left tooth, when typically my left tooth was closer to my bottom teeth when I would close my mouth. And right after that treatment, I closed my mouth and I was blown away that my mouth was back to where it typically was before. So really profound treatments. And then I'll be honest, after that, I was having a lot of emotion coming up. For the next couple of days, I went home that evening and had the weekend to try and regroup, and felt things coming up in other parts of my body. And it's just, I want to say that healing is a process. It's really a journey. It's not an event. So, just as I'm talking about this now, I'm getting ready to close up this call or this recording, I'm going to go in and have a 90-minute treatment session myself again, to continue following up with the treatment and the therapy that I need to get back to where I was before the accident, and really even to a better place. So therapeutic pain, healing, and remember that the key to healing is feeling. And sometimes just a treatment here or there isn't going to do the trick. And it's truly worth the investment to take care of yourself and possibly get an intensive or mini intensive, or maybe even a co-treat here and there. And if you're interested in learning more about that, just reach out to us at Essential Therapies and we can get you started. Thanks for joining and listening, and you'll hear more from me soon. Have a great day.